Welcome back to my channel, Bamboo Productions. Today I will be reading from the subreddit Entitled Parents. Entitled Parent wants me to change plane seats because my face scared her kid. This next post is by Dapper Environment 64. I, 24 male, am visiting Boston for the week and just got off a 5-hour flight a few hours ago, and I'm still kind of shaken up and upset. For context, a few months ago I had a procedure called an orbital exenteration. You can search that up if you want. Let's see what that means. An orbital exenteration is a surgical procedure that involves the removal of all contents within the eye socket, the orbit, including the eye, surrounding muscles, fat, and sometimes the eyelids. It's a radical surgery typically performed to treat advanced cancers of the eye or surrounding structures that have invaded the orbit. For an aggressive cancer that left me with what is basically a hole the size of a pool ball where my right eye used to be. I typically don't wear any facial coverings or prosthetics to cover it because of how recent this was and how I'm still attempting to come to terms with the fact that I'm basically missing the upper half of the right side of my face. Anyways, on this flight I picked a window seat like I always do and settled in. And not long after, a woman boards with her husband and her son, who's around 4 or 5 years old. Her husband has a seat in the row behind me, and she and her son have the middle and aisle seat in my row. The moment her son saw me, he visibly recoils. I'm quite used to the occasional glances and stares, and it doesn't bother me, but whenever I notice children looking scared of me, that always kind of hurts. I know kids don't have filters, I understand, but I was expecting his mother to just tell him to knock it off or something. Instead, she asked me, "Can you switch seats with my husband? My son's not exactly the most comfortable sitting next to you. I apologize. He's kind of scared here, so it would really help us out." I told her no, I wouldn't change seats because I wanted my window seat, to which she asked me a few more times before giving up and saying something along the lines of, "Seriously? He's only a child. I just thought you might a little more sensitive." And that pissed me off. I am sensitive. I've been sensitive about my face since the day I got surgery. I've avoided photos, mirrors, and public settings all too often. But apparently, I'm not sensitive enough for choosing my own comfort over a random child's. To be honest, for a while after that, I had to hold in tears because my disfigurement embarrasses me. And oftentimes, I'm so embarrassed, I don't go out much. And this reminded me exactly why. I understand a child is a child and people will stare, but I just hate how she treated me as if I was doing something wrong by just existing. Anyways, I'm in Boston, so yay. And I just hope that more parents would teach their kids that when they see someone who looks different, there's still normal people inside and don't deserve any different treatment than if they look normal. You know, this really makes me sad because he's already dealing with what he's dealing with and it's very hard. He's only 24. And for her to actually sit there and talk about her own son's comfort and just dismissing the fact that he may not be comfortable, you know, especially with her son's reaction, like that's a teaching moment. And she should have used that moment to teach her kid. And if she didn't want to do that because she's so entitled, she should have told her husband to switch seats with him. Or she could have switched seats with him and sit in the middle, but she didn't want to do that. But instead, she just wants to make OP feel uncomfortable and have him change seats. To me, it sounds like she just wanted her family to sit together. He's autistic is not a valid excuse to let your kid disrupt everyone else. Autism acceptance is important, but there are boundaries. This next post is by Ashamed Stretch 1884. I was in a hot tub recently, just trying to relax, when a woman let her autistic son jump in and treat it like a kiddie pool. Splashing, yelling, jumping around, completely ignoring that a hot tub is meant for calm, not chaos. A few of us politely mentioned that it wasn't appropriate, and her only response was, "He's autistic." Then she pointed to the main pool and told us to go there if we didn't like it. As someone who's also autistic, I find this kind of enabling incredibly frustrating. Autism doesn't mean you get a pass to take over shared spaces or disregard others completely. Inclusion and acceptance don't mean no rules. We should be teaching autistic kids how to navigate the world with support and boundaries, not encouraging the idea that everyone has to adjust while they do whatever they want. This kind of behavior doesn't promote understanding. It creates resentment and makes things harder for the rest of us who are doing our best to be mindful of others. Down in the comments, Awkward Anxiety 4742 said it best. Some parents want a diagnosis for treatment and help. Some want an excuse for not making a child behave. As a parent, it's up to you to teach your children to be responsible and well-behaved. It's no one else's responsibility to have to sit there and deal with your unruly children, whether they're autistic or not. If there was a pool nearby, then she should have took her son over there and let him jump for joy in that pool where other children are having fun. You do not put him in a hot tub and make him act like it's a pool. That's just so irresponsible. And using autism as an excuse, no, it's just bad and poor parenting. Entitled mom lets her kids run wild, gets mad I didn't let them touch my food. Am I the a-hole? Remove me for being too spicy. This next post is from Creative Mode 9625. So, am I the a-hole? Remove me for violating their must be fair and accurate rule. But I'll let y'all be the judge. I, 23 male, Netherlands, went to McDonald's with my fiance for a chill meal. We're child free, but I'm genuinely fine with kids as long as they behave. I'm a punk with tattoos and piercings, so I get stared at by kids often. Doesn't bother me. What does bother me? Kids screaming, running around, throwing toys, and climbing on furniture while the parents sit back like it's a spa. That's what's happened here. 2 young kids were literally using tables and chairs as a jungle gym, yelling and throwing a toy car. There was even an iPad on their table, but they ignored it. The 3 moms, one clear Karen leader, paid no attention. The kids kept running right up to our table, so we turned a chair to block the path, and I set up a barrier with a few more, just wanted to eat in peace. That's when Karen gets up with her goblins and storms over. Karen: is there a problem? Me: yeah, your kids keep running up to us, so I block the table. Karen: you're looking at them strange. You're unfriendly. Me: nah, just trying to eat. She starts yelling, this is McDonald's, not a 5-star restaurant. This is the Amsterdam ghetto. Me: yeah, and it's not a playground either. Control your kids. Then she hits me with, this is the Netherlands. We speak Dutch here. Me: then why are you speaking English? And finally, are you on crack? You look like you're on crack. I sarcastically said, yes, I am. And I use ketamine too. She screamed, F you, while flipping me off and stormed back. I stayed calm and didn't raise my voice once. Before leaving, I placed my ADHD meds on top of my ice cream so she'd see it, then jokingly said, we should try cocaine tonight, as we walked out. I never insulted her or her kids first. I didn't yell. I matched her energy and said what the staff couldn't. Some friends say I was too much. Others say I handled it like a pro. Let me know. What do you guys think? To clarify, no, this is not AI, and oh, I wish I was lying about this. I loved your response and your outro response. But that's just me, because I can't keep my mouth quiet, especially when you come over to my table and disrupt me. We didn't bother you. You came over here and bothered us. We just stopped your children from running around and messing with our food. So since you couldn't do it, we blocked them. Then you wanted a problem and you got one. I think that you did great. I don't think that you're an a-hole, even though it's in Entitled. I don't know why they kicked you out of there, but you're not the a-hole either. How dare you give her a kid's portion? Entitled aunt loses it over a plate of food at my own celebration. This next post is by Steamtronics. So, picture this. We're at the big celebration after the ceremony. It was a classy event. Great food, lots of family, music, the works. For dinner, it was agreed that all the kids, including me, would get kid portions. Totally fair, since there was tons of dessert, snacks, and cakes afterward. No one complained, except for her. Enter my uncle's wife, a full-blown Karen prototype. And no, I refuse to call her my aunt. I made that decision a long time ago. The waiter comes around and serves my 12-year-old cousin her plate. It's a nicely sized kid's portion, like the rest of us had. Suddenly, Karen's eyes go wide like she just witnessed a war crime. She turns to my mom and loudly exclaims, OP's mom, how dare you give her a kid's portion? She is an adult. She deserves an adult plate. What? Since when is a 12-year-old an adult? Okay, let me continue. Sorry. I swear, my best friend sitting next to me visibly recoiled. Her jaw hit the floor. The room went quiet. You'd think someone had just insulted royalty. My mom tried to calmly explain that all the kids, including me, the person being celebrated, were getting the same size meal, and that dessert would be more than enough. But nope, Karen wasn't having it. She demanded her daughter get the adult meal she deserved. Here's the kicker. My brother couldn't make it to the party, so there was one adult meal left. Instead of giving it to, say, an elderly relative or saving it, my mom, being the saint she is, caved and let the Karen have it just to avoid the drama. The rest of us, outraged. It wasn't about the food. It was the entitlement. In hindsight, we should have shown her the door right then and there. Also, to end off, please note, nobody in the family likes this woman. Not even her kids like her. Thank you for reading. And if you read this entitled aunt, F you. This comment says it the best by Bookworm Trisha. Keeping the peace by giving in teaches your aunt that all she has to do is complain and she gets what she wants. I mean, she didn't say complain, she cursed, but I changed it to complain. She said the B word. This guarantees that she will do this over and over forever. You only hurt your future self and all around her when you keep teaching a Karen that bad behavior is rewarded. I totally agree. She wouldn't have gotten anything. There's no way in the world she would have gotten an adult plate. Honestly, I would have rather trashed it or, like she said, saved it for later, because there's no way I'm rewarding that kind of behavior. And since when is a 12-year-old an adult? Please explain that to me. I would have had her explain that to me. Like, you can't be serious. Yeah, definitely. She's so entitled and y'all are allowing it. I know your mom is very sweet and kind and gentle, but she got to get a little bit rough with this one, because otherwise she's going to continue this kind of behavior. It's embarrassing. This has been Reddit's Entitled Parents. And if you like my video, then like, comment, and subscribe so I can bring you more. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, bye.